Right, Sean, Katie, Sean. We're recording again. Just got back from our holidays and I felt a bit ill.
Yeah.
Last week, so we haven't
struggling.
really done anything.
We went away again.
Then we went away again, yeah. We went on a big trip. But we're okay now. I'm okay. Are you okay?
I've been okay for a while.
Good, I'm glad to hear you've recovered too. Have you ever heard of a film called Snow White? Small indie film.
Vaguely. Yeah. Just a little one.
Started off this small time company, 90 odd years ago or something like that. Yeah, with Disney's Snow White. As far as I know, it's called Disney's Snow White.
What, Disney's Snow White, not just Snow White?
Nope. Not even Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's just called Snow White. Disney's Snow White.
I thought they weren't dwarves.
Well, obviously there's a lot of drama that's happened while this film has been getting made. As far as I know, they are dwarves now. Yeah.
Okay.
No idea. But, we're gonna watch, see what we can see. We might talk about a little bit about the cast, about what's being said. But I think my interest is just trying to see if the film looks good or not. From this, it doesn't look terrible, but...
When I was little, I used to have the Snow White house, or the hut, I guess you could say, even though it was not a hut.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it looks like, and I can't remember if that's accurate to what it looks like, but I feel like it's
a White House.
pretty accurate.
There's a White House, thatch roof.
I know it was the thatched roof, I just can't remember if that was... But it looks,
for a dwarf hut, it doesn't look too bad. So yeah, let's watch, see what we can spot. And yeah, we'll probably talk about the drama, because what else is there to talk about with regards to this film?
Especially with Disney.
Yeah, it's not even just this film, is it? It's Disney as a whole. Playing now. Disney invites you, eh? Does it indeed?
Oh, they are.
Yeah, dwarves.
So whistle while you work.
Yeah, they're all dwarves.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Oh.
Meh.
Oh, it's Bambi. Fresh off losing her own mother. The film is not yet rated. I wonder who they're gonna...
This film is not yet rated, so it's going to be anything other...
Gonna do an R-rated Snow White film.
Come on now.
So,
Take us for.
I'm gonna get this out of the way quickly, right? Because this might make me sound really shallow.
Okay.
Right, and it's gonna make me sound, I'll have all the, loads of people saying that I'm sexist and I'm a bigot or whatever they want to call me. Is it just me, or is Gal Gadot prettier than Rachel Zeigler? Gal Gadot is... She's from a heterosexual male, Gal Gadot is prettier than Rachel Zeigler. I would have thought they'd do something to de-good-looking Gal Gadot a bit, apart from just putting her in the. To be fair, she does look like the witch looked. So fair play to them for doing that. But, or even, they don't have to, make Rachel... I'm not saying Rachel Zeigler is an ugly lass, she isn't, but Gal Gadot hasn't she been voted the most beautiful woman in the world at one point?
Seems more unlikely, yeah.
When she was Wonder Woman or something. But anyway, we'll get past that. That's just one snippet. Another thing with this, I thought they were changing the entire story.
That's what they made it seem like. This is where a lot of the controversy comes in. So I feel like one of the initial things that was said was that this isn't the same as the original Snow White.
It's not a love story.
It's not a love story. She's not going to get saved. She's going to save herself. It's, yeah. And there was loads of stuff about the guy that's playing the prince. Apparently a lot of his stuff was going to get cut.
Yeah.
But this, to me, makes it seem like it's going to be pretty much nigh on the same.
Yeah.
And as well, so the dwarfs.
I'm guessing this is Charming. That's his name, isn't it?
Yeah. No, he's not Prince Charming, is he? That's
Philip.
Cinderella. No, that's
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Let's call him August.
Why?
Yeah,
So, okay.
Yeah, the dwarves.
The dwarves. This is a really weird thing because they turned around and they said they're not going to be dwarves.
Nope.
We feel like because they were like, calling them dwarves is offensive. We're not going to do it. We're going to have like just these magical beings.
Yeah, there was one dwarf in the picture.
There's going to be one dwarf, and a lot of people kicked off because they were like, "This is your chance to have representation and to cast people."
Yep.
That do we call them dwarfs? Is that the political correctness?
Yeah. They suffer from dwarfism.
Dwarfism, yeah. People with dwarfism to have like the chance of representation, but then they were like, no, we're not going to do that. But they look fake.
They do, yeah.
They look completely computer generated.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Is that one of the 7 people here is an actual dwarf.
Okay.
But I imagine if they're all going to look like that.
So, like, I mean, look at them.
None of them look like an actual person.
So they're like, okay, yeah. So people kicked off. This is Disney. People are like, oh no, people are kicking off. They want the dwarves. We have to bring the dwarves back. So instead of doing the thing that the reason why people were kicking off about them having the chance to have representation, they're just going, okay, it's fine. We'll just completely computer generate them and make them look ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like that's not the reason why people were so upset.
And they're computer generating the person who is an actual dwarf.
Unless they've completely recast them, but you'd assume not.
No, not after all the filming, I wouldn't have thought so.
It's just, I mean, it's like, what?
Well,
I understand that
it's the panic, isn't it? The panic obviously has set in.
They're like, oh, we thought we were being good by,
Yeah.
Saying we're not going to have dwarfs, but actually we've upset people.
Yeah.
And so let's just make the most daft looking.
Because Peter Dinklage came out and said that, it shouldn't be dwarves because it's a really whatever, and because there's dopey and bashful, and they've all got very one-dimensional things.
Yeah.
That it's somehow offensive to dwarves. To which
a lot of people
who suffer from dwarfism came out and said, well, it's all well and good Peter Dinklage saying that now that he's a multi-millionaire, having made his career on dwarf roles, what about other dwarf actors who want to get into the business?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to be a part of Snow White?
But also, isn't the whole arc of the dwarfs is that they're all these people, but then ultimately at the end of it, they all get over that to go save her.
Yeah.
Like Grumpy's one of the ones that leads the charge, and it's like
he leads the charge.
But he didn't like her at the beginning, and it's
yeah. So it's this giant. I mean, personally, and I'm not saying this to be horrible, I think this film's going to really flop. I don't think it's going to make any money at all.
I mean, after everything that's been said, a lot of the stuff with
Rachel
Zeigler.
Yeah.
And all the grief she's been getting, people were going to boycott this movie either way, whether they changed it or not.
Do you know what it'll be? It'll be really successful on Disney Plus. In cinemas, it won't do anything. It won't do very well because people won't pay money to go and watch it after everything that's happened around it. But people will probably same thing that happened with things like The Little Mermaid and Mulan. It'll go to Disney Plus and people will go, oh well, let's watch it, see how bad it is. They'll watch it and then that'll be it. It doesn't even matter if it's good or not.
Yeah, it'll get the views on Disney Plus. Yeah. The thing is, as well, I don't understand, and it's typical Disney. It looks like, because like we were saying, it looks like it's essentially the same story. So what's the point?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of any of this?
I mean, that's a shot-for-shot remake of the animated film, isn't it? Because she's singing to herself, she's cleaning up because she's been not very nice to by the Queen.
Prince is going to stumble upon her.
Prince stumbles upon her, and they have a bit of a sing-song, and then she runs and hides, and he still sings to her. She sort of, tries to polish herself off despite being in rags, but he's enraptured because he's in love, and then You know, she just blows him a kiss down. Oh no, she gives a little dove a kiss, doesn't she? And the little dove goes around and kisses him on the cheek, and he's all fluttery, and everyone, they're in love. It doesn't matter. They're young and in love. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't understand the point. Okay, so it's just the Queen, magic mirror.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, because I feel like I'm kind of saying 2 points. People might be saying, well, pick one. So I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing if everything's the same, but it's like, I always used 101 Dalmatians. It's like that was the live action was different from the animated movie in quite a few ways, but it still stayed true to the story and the characters and the message it was conveying. And it was well done, and the acting was really good. The sets were really good, mainly because there wasn't any of the computer generated nonsense. It holds up and it's a good movie. Whereas with this, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, that looks like it's a shot from the original one. That one does. The sets, I mean, they look okay. All the dwarves are computer generated, so it's not really live action, is it?
No.
What's the point?
Do you know what I think?
If the only difference is that they're gonna change the love story.
It's not Snow White anymore.
It's not Snow White, yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
What's the point? If she's gonna take the apple, how is she gonna wake up? Are they gonna have the dwarves all kiss her and she wakes up from that? Like, you know what I mean? It's like Maleficent. It's like, are you gonna change that much of the story just?
Yeah. To spite audiences. Yeah. Well, do you know what I think part of it is? I think films that are based in the real world, they don't struggle with, like 101 Dalmatians. They wouldn't struggle making Hunchback of Notre Dame because it's a good film set in the real world. Things like Snow White, Cinderella, Mulan is sort of set in the real world, but the remake just absolutely is not. She's got magical powers and everything, and they completely get their laws the wrong way around. It's about China, but they use like Japanese law, and it's all they're doing there is showing how incompetent they are with their research. What's the other one? I mean, Beauty and the Beast isn't in the real world really. It's in Paris, and it's what's the other one?
Set in a magical castle, though.
Yeah. What's the other thing I always say? What's the other one that's really bad? Little Mermaid again is sort of based in the real world, but it's not because it's mermaids and King Triton, isn't he like Poseidon's son or something like that? And I just think that they maybe need to take a break from the more fantastical films, go back to being a bit more grounded. Things as simple as you said as 101 Dalmatians, where the biggest challenge you have is one, modernising it, and two, using dogs that don't talk. Yeah. But they did that. They did it fine. Trying
to direct it so that you can still understand what's going on with the dogs, but they're not actually talking.
Yeah.
And they're not like doing what Lion King did and just animating the dogs so that they can still talk, but then say it's live action.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Because again, it's not live action if you're having to animate it.
Yeah.
Just because it looks good and it looks more realistic doesn't mean it's live action.
So it's a bit weird. Is it making out as if the Queen...
She's just becoming the old lady.
Yeah.
She's not like transforming herself.
Like it's just a magical power that she can just turn on and off. I don't like that. And if I'm being honest, she doesn't look all that scary. I will say this for everyone, so everyone understands. As a young person, the witch in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the most scariest thing I'd ever experienced.
You used to get nightmares about the witch.
Yeah, she was the scariest thing I'd ever seen.
Evil Queen.
This doesn't look all that scary. I mean, she looks sort of haggy, but apart from that, she's got a skull, cane.
I wonder if she's going to die, or if they'll make amends.
Oh, probably be some nonsense like that.
So this is when she's getting chased.
Yeah, I think this is when the woodsman tells her to run.
Now, are they still going to do the moment where the huntsman regrets and he lets her go and then he...
I'd like to think so. You want sort of... I don't get the point in that. What?
It's like she's seeing the beauty in the darkness.
That's dumb. I mean, it's a deer. Deer's eyes aren't going to glow like that.
Yeah, technically it's a doe, isn't it?
I don't care. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I'm trying not to let what she and Gal Gadot said impact my objectiveness, But I mean, it does look like it's just going to be. Apart from the fact that this isn't doesn't seem like a shot-for-shot remake of how she gets the apple off the evil queen, because she gives her it in the house, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has that creepy moment where she's baking and you just see her face in the window.
Silhouette, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, but she goes in and she gets attacked by the animals, doesn't she? Because the animals know that she's evil. And then when she's sort of pretending to be wounded, she gives her the apple. That's when she bites it and kills her. Right. So, Doc.
Uh-huh. Can you tell by the way they stand up? That's obviously going to be grumpy.
Probably grumpy. I'm guessing dopey. Bashful.
Do you think?
Was heavier than the majority of them.
Sleepy. Yeah.
Which leaves Sneezy.
Okay.
They're probably not going to have those names. It's probably going to be called like Kenneth, Lewis.
Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
Keith.
Adam. Keith. Desmond. Richard. Right, so that one's Doc. Guessing that one's Bashful.
Has he not got glasses on?
Oh yeah, that one might be
Is that
Doc.
not Grumpy? Oh no, is that Grumpy?
Yeah, that'll be Grumpy. Grumpy's in the red, isn't he? Dopey, the one in the purplish hat. And he's got big ears. That's Grumpy there. Grumpy, Dopey. No point trying to guess the rest because it's just impossible. Yeah, it's just this. It does beg the question. Do you know what's probably happened? Is that they've started making the film. Rachel Zeigler and Gal Gadot have gone out and done an absolute hatchet job on some of the press, and then the backlash has hit, and Disney have basically gone, right, we need to really change what we're doing here because people are obviously upset about it.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just Cinderella. This isn't just The Lion King. It's not Mulan. This is the original Disney princess film.
Yeah, this was the move that they built the company.
Yeah, and it's like if you perform a hatchet job on this, then you risk alienating almost every single person who likes Disney.
Which is why people found it so disrespectful when the Rachel Zeigler was coming out and saying, she didn't like Snow White.
It's dated, and how this man who falls in love with her when he sees her is a bit of a stalker, and it's like, well, how? He sees her. There's such a thing as love at first sight. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not like he sits outside the house and watches her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when he sees her, he's upset that she's dead, according to him. According to the rest of them. Yes, you could sort of work around the idea that he's kissed her when she's supposedly dead.
Bit weird.
That one's a bit weird, but
Yeah.
apart from that, nothing that the prince does is inherently bad. Surely, the thing that should be politically incorrect in all this is the fact that there's a stepmother trying to kill her daughter. Is that not the thing that everyone should be losing their minds about? Like these types of people going, we're not going to make a story about the evil queen who just wants to kill her stepdaughter because she wants to be the most beautiful, because it's so vain and women aren't like that. You would think that that's what they would aim all their sort of, aggression at. Not the prince who doesn't save her. He doesn't save her.
Yeah.
The dwarfs save her after she's been tricked like that. Why is that a bad thing?
But it's also it's like we said, it's like the dwarves are the heroes. It's not necessarily the prince.
No.
And it's like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get, and it's a part of me thinks they might nerf their love story a bit because of what they've said. But I'm also like, okay, so if they're changing the dwarfs, are they going to change that as well? Because they did do reshoots, didn't they? They were filming, then I think the strikes happened, they stopped, and they kind of put a stop in it, and then they've come back and all sorts.
And it was put on hold for quite a while because I think it was supposed to come out this year, not next year, because of all of the backlash that came from it. People thought it would be cancelled. But I'm sure when I read a thing, it was something like there was going to be a Minotaur, a Centaur, and like just a bunch of sort of half mythical creatures from all kinds of, you know, cultures and whatnot, and that was going to be like Snow White and the Magical Creatures or something like that, which just sounds ridiculous.
But then it's like, if it's just called Snow White, it's like, why not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? You've gone through the effort of reanimating them to look like dwarves, even though they look terrible. Let's face it. Why not just have it called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Yeah. So it's still going to have the music. That's one thing. That's not terrible, I suppose. It looks like it's still going to have the prince in it. I feel like I should know what his name is. Do you not feel like I should know?
Might be Prince Charming, but I thought that was Cinderella. But it might also be called Prince Charming.
That bit was also scary in the original, which is running through the woods. That was quite scary. Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying that Disney can't get a grasp on themselves. Like, you know, this film is like a fantastical tale, but the concept of it isn't all that isn't all that advanced. It's fairly basic. You know, girl sees boy, boy sees girl, they fall in love at first sight, but she's got a jealous authority figure after her, and she's saved by some, you know, one-dimensional but charming dwarves. You know, all who have their initial problems with her. You know, like Bashful can't get through a conversation with her because he fancies her that much. Grumpy doesn't like her. You know, Doc's got his stutter and all that nonsense, and they, you know, just through pure kindness, they all warm up to her, and then they all rush off to save her because she doesn't deserve what she's been getting off the Queen. So it shouldn't be that hard to iron out a good story that's slightly modernised. You know, because that should be the goal. Modernising a 1920s odd film is fine. You've got to be careful how you do it, though, because this, like we've said, this is the Disney film. You know, it's what's given the likes of these the chance to make all the money that Disney's thrown at them.
Also, for the love of God, Disney, get a rap on your actors.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, people can have their opinions, people can say what they want, but when they're out there working for you, promoting a movie that you're making, you're spending all this money on, maybe get them some media training, maybe give them a list of things they shouldn't say. Yeah. Because is this really what you want to happen every single time, is for an actor to come out, say something that's going to like annoy people boycott the movie and you lose loads of money? It's like, just say, look, don't say this stuff. Don't say this, and this, and this. If you do, there'll be repercussions. It shouldn't be that difficult. I feel like they've had stuff like that in the past.
Oh, they've had loads.
Especially with like Marvel movies and stuff.
Marvel, Star Wars.
Like, just that for me, that's a big one, especially recently, because it feels like not even just this kind of Disney, but just Disney in general. It's like their actors are just saying stuff and people are getting annoyed and boycotting, and it's like, oh.
It's just the circle continues.
Yeah.
Because it's because they always do that thing where they go, oh, well, no, it's you're the problem. You're the racists and the sexists and the bigots and the homophobes, and instead of just going, well, did we do something wrong? Oh yeah, we went out and insulted the classic. You know, if you don't go out and watch it in your droves, Disney then turn around and go, no, you, the audience, are the problem. It's like, well, no, you're selling something to us. You have to make us want to watch it. And
the person that's selling it is disregarding the original material that you made this movie from.
Yeah, like the reason we would go and see it, you know,
is because we have already seen the animated movie.
Yeah, and now this person is insulting that film. Why on earth would we go and see their version of it? It's like they don't understand how human beings work. You know. Anyway, no, will you go and see it?
Not in the cinema. I might watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I won't go and see it. I'm not going to go and see it.
I mean, I don't think I've not seen any of the live actions in cinema since Beauty and the Beast. I don't think.
I don't even think I went to see that, did I?
I think it was just me, Mum, and Nicole.
Yeah, because Snow White isn't in. If I had to think about it, I don't even think Snow White's in my top 10 favourite Disney films. But it's the you know, it's the principle. You know, if they turned around to me and said, we're going to remake Tangled, which is my favourite Disney film, by the way, but we're going to completely cut out Flynn Rider, I'd be like,
Yeah,
To hell with
We're
that.
gonna get rid of Pascal and Maximus. And
Yeah,
all of the
like,
songs.
to hell with that. I'm not going to say that.
It was like that's how I felt with Mulan.
Yeah.
It's like they got rid of the love interest. They got rid of Mushu and the cricket, even though the cricket
And
doesn't
the
say
horse.
anything. And the horse. And
the
they got rid
bad
of
guy.
the bad guy, and they got rid of all the songs. And it's like, so
You've basically stripped Mulan.
well, what is
bare.
it then? It's just, what is it? And then what they gave us was just a bunch of garbage.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, thanks for that, ruining one of the best
Yeah.
animated Disney movies we've ever done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Which is why I say, for the love of God, if they taint Lilo and Stitch,
Have you not seen the...
I don't want to. I refuse.
Oh, they've changed it.
In a good way.
Yeah, actually.
Okay. But if they taint Lilo and Stitch with a bunch of nonsense like
All right,
everything else,
We'll have to watch that now so you can
I
see it.
will find them.
Yeah.
It,
But you get what I mean. It's the principle, isn't it? Disney have to win back my trust. They have to... If do you know what? If they turn around and went, we're going to remake The Hunchback of Notre Dame because we think it was brilliant, but it didn't get enough credit. Right, we're going to remake it, live action. We're going to do prosthetics on someone because obviously, not that I'm aware, I don't know if there's anyone that looks like Quasimodo in the world. You know, and we're going to tell this great story. We're going to keep all the songs. We're going to keep all the good characters because it's a film about persecution. You know, it's a film that you would think Disney would want to go for because that's the message they're trying to pass in every film, even films that don't have that in it. And it looked good, and the songs sounded like the songs rather than someone talking the song. You know, I would probably go and see it because Hunchbacks is one of my favourite. But with things like this, out of principle, I refuse to go and see it. Oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. No, I think Disney's the problem. Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments. Try and be nice. We've tried to avoid being political, but obviously,
talked about it.
but with everything that's happened surrounding this film, it's hard to avoid it. Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments. Will you go and see it? What do you think the big problems are with this film and just Disney live action in general? Like the video, subscribe, ding the bell to be notified when we upload. We upload every day. Anything else you want to say? We'll have to go and watch the Lilo and Stitch reveal now.
No. Is it just me or is her address look a bit weird? I don't know what it is about it because I can't remember what her dress looks like in the
She never
anime.
had slaves.
Did she not?
No.
Is that it? It's just there's something about the dress.
Not as far as I can remember. She never had slaves.
Something, I don't know what it is about the dress. It just looks, it's something that just...
She never had slaves. She did have these things.
Yeah, she had them things.
I think this was white as well, wasn't it?
No. No.
You sure?
No. Not white. It's just something small and minute, and I'm just like, what? I'm going to search it now.
I'm pretty sure it's the sleeves.
No, I get off the Disney Store. Oh yeah, she didn't have slaves.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Yeah, she didn't have slaves. Oh, the white thing's a bit lackluster in comparison, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Sleeves.
The slaves.
See, told you. Yeah. Thank you for watching.